Välkommen, welcome to the Ersjon1852 project. This 7th episode of part 1 covers the final big push of preparing all the timber, taking it down and loading it to a big truck. The short update: March 16th. The winter keeps at it. More snow. Our foundation is deeply covered in snow. There's been snowing on and off all week. But it's gonna get warmer. The snow is gonna melt off, and eventually we're gonna get going on part 2, putting up the house. I wanted to show you something. The chimneys in the house were made of rocks and on the top of black bricks. These black bricks are kind of unique. Today we have the red clay bricks, but those weren't common until the 1900s, starting on the 1900s. These black bricks came from a mine. It was residue slag from the mining, copper mine. At first we didn't want to keep them, but my son Mons thought it was a good idea to keep some of them. We don't know what we're going to do with them, but they're kind of different and cool, so we'll see. Now we had a clean timber frame, with the floor on the upper level left loose. We needed it there to be able to take the upper logs down. We now needed to mark every single log and do this in a way that would be very, very easy to follow, so we could put it up again. This took some time, because we needed to be very structured and climb up and down the walls. And as it happened, our permanent marker wasn't that permanent, so we have to do it double and mark straight on the logs too. After all the logs had their markings, the next step was to do one of the most essential parts of taking a timber house down. We measured from the eaves of the roof to the bottom log in every corner to mark what part of the bottom log we had to take out. With each measurement, we get the entire house level, and the bottom log we cut before we start putting it up again. When all was marked and measured, we were ready for the big move. The timber truck and the big crane arrived early in the morning. It was a very, very intense teamwork. Me and my son Mons loosened the logs with a crowbar and guided the crane. The crane lifted the logs down to the ground, and then the driver of the timber truck lifted those up to the timber truck. The logs are basically laying loose on top of each other, only locked to each other in the corners and kept in place with small wood pegs. In Swedish we call those dymlingar. We were so lucky. The weather was perfect for this work, and it was fascinating to see the house being taken down piece by piece. The work progressed very smoothly, but we wanted to get everything down during this day. And we also knew that the team cost quite a lot with the truck and the crane. So we kept working late. As the work progressed and we had taken the upper logs down, we could also get the upper floor out. We didn't need it anymore. It was late November. The days hour short up here in the north at that time, and it got darker and darker. And I want to thank the guys from the Brattlands Åkeri. They did a fantastic job. We had a great teamwork. The work continued late into the night, and it was spectacular to see the big timber truck finally leave. The day after, we still had the very bottom logs left. They were stuck under the chimney, and we had to get those chimneys down before we could get the last logs out. A few days later, the chimneys were taken down, and the crane came back and took the last of the logs. Okay, now we have moved the house. In the next episode of this part 1, we want to be a little bit philosophical and look at the process of moving and building a house versus the often quite stressful goals we have. So, hope you keep following us, and thank you for watching.